Mama told me not to come, da 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 da. Mama told me not to come, do 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 do. Mama told me not to come because a bunch of pranks would be played on April Fool's Day. On April Fool's Day. I'm John Renton with the retro review of April Fool's Day from director Fred Walton, not of the family the Waltons. No, good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. Damn it, can a guy masturbate in peace? Boy, if anybody gets that reference, I will be absolutely amazed. He did When a Stranger Calls, The Rosemary Murders, and When a Stranger Calls Back. And it was also written by Danilo Bach. Because baby, you ain't seen nothing yet because it's from the writer of Beverly Hills Cop and a few other movies. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments, please. Came out like 36 years ago, so there's going to be spoilers. Sorry, I was 5 years old when this fucking movie came out. I'd seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in a while, so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to retro review it. So it has Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2 that I also recently retro reviewed. Check that one out. Deborah Foreman, Lloyd Barry as the ferryman. No, not of the actual ferryman where you had to put the coins on the eyes. Not that stuff. Nope. He's an actual ferryman with a ferry that looked like it was from the 1800s. It looked like the first ever ferry in known existence. So if you're unfamiliar with this movie, basically, it's taking place over, wait for it, April Fool's weekend, hence the title April Fool's Day. And there is a woman named Muffy, played by Deborah Foreman, who decides to have a bunch of friends come out. 9 college students come out to a remote island area and come to a house her dad owns. Her dad's going to leave her. And basically, she has to find a way to pay for it. But that gets pushed to the side because suddenly people start dying, even though there's a bunch of antics and a bunch of pranks being played. When people start dying for real, shit goes south, and everybody's got to figure out what the fuck is going on. So if you haven't seen this movie, the biggest indictment of it is that while it tries to embrace the horror elements, it's more of a comedy horror, and the problem is when the comedy hits, it's sort of good. When it misses, ooh, oh boy, it is definitely not great. That being said, there's enough wit about it, and it has a breezy nature about it, and it does go light on the gore, and in fact, pretty much can be seen as just a comedy. What kills the movie is basically the third act, the whole reveal, explanation, and everything. It just feels like a total cop-out. It feels just like, oh yeah, you know, all this and everything. Aha, April Fools, ha 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 ha. It's kind of the problem with this movie. It just feels like a total cop-out, and while it's not the worst thing in the world, it takes what's a good premise and, you know, a bit of mystery and everything and some cheesy stuff about it and just basically kind of throws it on the ground, just steps on it, just kicks it to the side and says, yeah, we'll just put that over there. Yeah, fuck you guys for wasting 90 minutes of your goddamn life. But anyway, it's basically the plot, such as it is. Paramount Pictures presents us this whole thing of, well, 9 college students going on this ferry. And from the word go, we see Muffy and her Aunt Clara or her mom. I don't actually fucking know. I think maybe a caretaker. Clara offers, hey, can I help you? Oh, well, you know, no, you don't have to help me. Well, have fun at your party. You know, oh, this party's going to be better than nice. It's going to be bloody unforgettable. And while there is some blood in this, it does go a little bit light on the gore. So everybody is all happy and really, really stupid, and everybody meets and everybody knows each other, and there's a lot of 80s hair. Holy shit, there's a lot of 80s fucking hair in this. We focus on Kit and Rob, who were the titular couple of titular is a word that will always make me laugh. I will be on my deathbed, and I will still be laughing at a word like titular, and then goodbye. But anyway, the cast is just full of a bunch of idiots. And you know, typical, you know, cliches. The jokesters, the one guy that thinks that he's a whole lot smarter than anybody else, but he's really got a heart of gold. You know, he's like, you know, he does all this humor and everything. He's doing all this to shield the fact that he's really insecure. And then there's other people that just have their own ideas about what they want to do with their lives. And by the way, there's a guy with a camera filming all this. No, we didn't get it found footage style. We start with a little bit of a documentary thing, and then it becomes very, very clear that this movie is going to test our patience, unless we just want to see people die. That's the problem with the movie. We don't care about the characters. We want to see them die, and we don't even get that. So they end up getting to the island eventually. The ferry, I swear to God, this ferry wouldn't even fit one car on it. It barely can fit 9 fucking people, plus the ferryman, plus a guy named Buck. Not Beck, because he does not have 2 turntables and a microphone, because it's 1986. So he doesn't have 2 turntables and a microphone. Anybody get that? Anybody a Beck fan watching this? So, they do a prank where Skip ends up getting stabbed, but oh no, he didn't. Then Buck jumps in the water to try to save him. Well, then Buck tries this whole thing where he's going to stay in the water and throw the rope on the pier. But he was caught peering in the wrong direction and got the blade and everything on his eye. No, ow, my eye, I'm not supposed to get ferry boat in it. Then he's taken away, and the Constable Potter, the Honorable Constable Porter presiding, whatever. The Honorable Constable presiding, I can say this eventually. He says, well, y'all stick together and y'all basically don't leave. Don't leave the group. You just stay here. Just stay here and don't be dumb. Stop. Don't do this anymore. So everyone's distraught, sort of, but Muffy nothing ever happens to her that's bad. Oh no. So I did notice one of the trucks that was driven though on the island. I think they got it from the Grapes of Wrath set. So, beans and hot dogs. I know it smelled crazy on that set. Everyone is idiotic and I hate them is what I noted on this, which I guess is the idea with a slasher. So, Muffy's a very awkward host, but everybody's playing pranks. Everybody knows how to play pranks. There's weird stuff. It's like if Clue was a slasher, but without the creative writing. And I'm not talking about a creative writing project in high school or college. There's these newspaper clippings. 6 die in a fog, a bunch of car crashes. Oh no, what could have possibly happened there? It felt like large chunks of this movie was just added off and they just decided to hodgepodge a few pieces and Human Centipede it together and throw it out on screen. Skip ends up basically getting killed after a cat jumps on him. Well, actually somebody stabs him in the shed. And then they are just playing soccer, then suddenly Kit and Rob see his body floating along underneath the dock pier area, the little shed boat area that they have, whatever the fuck it's actually called. And then they freak out, and then everybody goes from playing soccer to fuck it, everybody's murdering everybody, so we need to go out and figure out what's going on. It's a whodunit mystery. And then at one point, this one couple ends up down a well. Well, and there's also bodies down the well, because of course there fucking is. And then more people end up dying. Just more people die. Muffy starts acting really goddamn weird. Kit finds this picture of 2 twins. What the hell's going on? Constable Potter ends up talking to him and saying, hey, you need to watch out for Muffy because there's something going on here. What the hell's going on? Buck is in the hospital, so it couldn't be him because he got the eye injury. Ow, my eye. I'm not supposed to get, a fairy in it. And then Kit keeps finding this stuff, and what the hell's going on? It turns out everybody maybe didn't know Muffy as well as they thought. Muffy's really acting weird and says, well, hell with this. I'm going to go to bed. My response to murder is to go to sleep. So, more people die, and then there are dolls up in this attic area that they say nobody has visited, even though it's very obvious that somebody has visited recently. All these dolls are positioned like the people that died. Oh no! So anyway, then it turns out they find the constable's boat, and there's a letter in it. And this letter in it says somebody escaped from a mental institution, after a while, and they're on their way back to their home. What the hell? It's Muffy. Muffy's crazy? That's impossible. She was at this university. But then it turns out that Muffy actually was found dead, and it's her twin sister, Buffy. As far as creative writing goes, there was not exactly a lot of thought put into this. And then Buffy's just suddenly there, and she's going to stab her. Die. The Tiki Man, or whatever the hell he was called, from Trilogy of Terror. And he's going to stab Kit, and then Rob's locked away, and he's freaking out. He's like, Kit, I love you. I'm sorry I can't figure out how to unlock a door. And then Kit freaks out, gets through the door, and suddenly sees everybody alive. And why is this happening? April Fools! What? I understand what they were trying to do here. Unfortunately, it didn't ultimately work. It basically just ended up being kind of a slap in the face to everybody. More of that slap, not so much that slap, but even Buck was in on it, that whole thing about his eye. The constable was in on it. It turns out that Muffy did this, there's no twin sister, and that everybody had to be in on it. This had to be a trial run for a weekend special, a whodunit Holiday Inn Express, so to speak. I did say it, whodunit Holiday Inn Express, that is. And then we get, Mama told me not to come, and then everybody's drunk. And then there's one girl that apparently had issues with Muffy because Muffy may have leaked a tape that was out, possibly a sex tape thing that apparently existed even in 1986. She slashed her throat. Oh no! But then it turned out to actually be fake. Everything's fake in this. Good idea that was let down by a fairly shit ending. I mean, and that's my opinion. I mean, I've seen worse slashers. No misunderstand. I've seen far, far, far worse slashers. This one ended up ultimately not being all that great. That being said, let me know what your thoughts in the comments were. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retland. I'll see you soon.